Hi, welcome to Matt's Garage. Saturday morning, the season has changed. Summer is over, it's raining, it's cool, and the Bronco's changing. So I actually got the doors level like this, okay? And I got the gaps good, I'll show you that. But, now I gotta worry about the quarters and the fenders, because it's still kind of scraggly. So I'll show you what's going on. You'll have to forgive me, this lens doesn't have image stabilization, so it's a great lens, but no IS. So this gap's pretty good, right? I mean, it's a little tight, I'll be honest, but it's nice. It's a nice tight gap. So when you line this up, this end sort of dives in. You see that dive there? And it's not the hinges are sort of maxed out. What I found is if I pull, I'm pulling that, if I pull that, then it gets really close, okay? The problem with that is, you can see my bubble levels, it's not level when I do that. So something tells me I gotta massage the way that quarter panel sits onto that rear door post, and then so that's one thing I have to do. And then it's a similar situation up here when this is set. Let me go down here. Okay. When this is set in there, it's not bad, right? And this will come out. I do have room on this top hinge to bring this out, but this is kicked way out, way out, right? Like down here, it's kicked way out, and let me show you why that's happening. Once there was this man who went to build a Bronco, and he put it on YouTube world. He finally built it. He saw the body lines are all jacked up. Before I explain the fitment issue, let me show you what I did here. I think I'd mentioned that I'd opened up these front door posts. Great. The problem was that they didn't angle back far enough when they were part of that front and back piece. So broke off the back parts sitting right there in the car. And then this was flopping around so much, I just could not get any sort of a reading or set gap on my door. So I created these L brackets. I think I talked about some sort of spacer, but this was much simpler, and one of the viewers suggested this. I'd already actually done it, but I appreciate the thinking. So basically, tech screws into here, tech screws into here. I fabbed up this bracket out of some thicker stuff. It's a little thicker than normal. It's about the same thickness as the actual material here. That really locked into place. There's still movement, but it's not anything like it was without that there. Even then, this whole thing was still screwed up. So don't do what I did in the sense that I pushed this way forward to meet up with the door window frame. But then when I went to go mock up my hood was way too far back. Like it would have never latched. So the right answer is you have to actually bring the door towards the windshield frame, which means twist this and then screw it into place, and then the top and the bottom weren't at the right angle. Even now I can see they're still a little off. The door hangs straight, so I'm gonna let it be. But there's just a lot of twisting, and you need to twist it, you need to angle it like this way. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like it takes an amazing amount of work. Down here, I must have screwed and unscrewed this whole thing 20 times each side, and then when I did this side, and then I got the dimensions. I went to the other side, came back. This side's dimensions were all off. So a lot of patience involved. Anyway, that's not what I was here to show you. what I'm here to show you is what is the problem with the front quarter. So the way the front quarter sits is this bracket here with the 3 screw holes. It's a separate part of this fender, right? But the distance is not, it's not science, right? If you look here, you can see it's thicker up here than it is down here. Why? Right? It's not that there's no reasoning behind that. It should not be thicker. It should be a uniform sweep because this is a uniform sweep. So I basically have to bust out these spot welds, right? Fit this right and then weld it back together. So that's what needs to be done. And I might even need to shave some of the front fender sheet metal along here to get this to sit deeper, and that'll pull this whole thing in, because the door is where it might be a little bit shallow, like I need to pull the hinge out a tiny bit because it needs to be obviously like a body, sorry, it needs to be like a body thickness more out this way, because this fender can't sit any more flush than the support underneath it, right? So if that makes sense, and that didn't make sense, basically when I put this on, it's going to be at least as far out as the thickness of the material plus the very edge of this piece. It can't be any further in than that, obviously, unless I shave this down, which I don't want to do yet. And I stress yet. So yeah, so I'm going to pull this door out as much as I can, and then I'll play with that and then see if it fits. Before I do any of what I just discussed though, I'm going to stop the body alignment thing and I'm going to get this firewall figured out. So I had peeled all this back, I'd broken all the spot welds and peeled it all back. Now I have to go through, sort of hammer out all the flanges, grind out all the extra metal, and then set it back into place with the front firewall section cleaned up and repaired from where I cobbled it up to fit it against the head, but back when my placement was incorrect. So the reason for that is because I don't know, once I get this put together and I screw it in, it might change my door dimensions, you know? So I don't want to start setting the fenders and the quarters without having this whole thing tied together. And I know a lot of you guys are saying put the top on because it locates the all the angles and stuff, right? And you're right, it does. But this is not ready for the top here. The rear quarter's not ready. I want to get everything as close as I can, then get the top on, and then tweak it all once it's there. I'm not welding anything yet. I'm done welding, basically. The firewall, maybe I'll put some tacks in just for stability, but I'm using tech screws for everything now. Like, I'm not gonna weld a single thing until everything fits, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Like, I don't want to mess with this anymore. So once it's all screwed together, might need some more tech screws, but you know, it's like $15 for a box of them. It's not that bad. Then I'll start burning it in. But until then, tech screws. I wanted to get a couple of channel things out of the way. One, if you like emailed me or commented and I didn't get back to you, I apologize. I try to get to everybody, but sometimes I'll be in exchange, and if I ghost you after a while, like I just, you know, life. I'm trying to keep up with as much as I can, and it's not that you're not important. You guys are obviously important. I'm doing this, but I can't do it. So I apologize. And then yeah, you guys are making good suggestions out there. I appreciate it. And if I don't do it on the show, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just, you know, every man's got to go his own way. Some of your guys' suggestions I follow. Sometimes I've already instituted the solution the way I want by the time you suggest, but they're all, I'd say, mostly good suggestions. There's a couple out there. I don't know. Do you own a wrench? You wrench, bro? And then what else I got? And to all the people who told me I should not do this, you were right. You're right. I should have just spliced panel by panel into the old body. No question. Or bought a new tub. This approach here, this is just torture. But, you know, sometimes, you know, torture, you come out a hero, right? I'm no hero. I'm not a hero. I'm a moron is what I am. See you next time on Matt's Garage.